Rich Dad versus Poor Dad. The book begins with the contrast between two father figures. One is highly educated and works for job security. The other thinks in terms of ownership and opportunity. Through their different advice, Kiyosaki shows how mindset shapes financial outcomes. The poor dad believes in earning a steady paycheck and climbing the career ladder. The rich dad focuses on building assets that produce income. This contrast sets the foundation for every lesson that follows. The rich don't work for money. Kiyosaki argues that most people are driven by fear and desire. Fear of not having enough money pushes them to accept jobs, while desire for more keeps them trapped in the cycle of earning and spending. According to the book, wealthy people learn to make money work for them instead. They build systems, businesses, or investments that generate income without constant labor. The lesson is about breaking the emotional attachment to a paycheck. Financial education. Traditional schooling, Kiyosaki explains, teaches people how to become employees, but rarely how to manage or grow money. Financial education means understanding income statements, balance sheets, cash flow, taxes, and investments. It is practical knowledge, not theory. The book stresses that without this education, even high earners can struggle financially. With it, ordinary earners can gradually build wealth. Assets and liabilities. One of the most famous lessons in the book is the simple definition. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. Kiyosaki challenges common beliefs by saying that a house you live in is not necessarily an asset if it costs you money every month. An asset might be rental property, stocks, or a business that produces income. The clarity of this distinction changes how readers view spending and investing. Mind your own business. Even while working a job, Kiyosaki suggests building something on the side. He encourages people to focus on acquiring income-producing assets rather than only working for promotions. Owning shares, starting a small business, or investing in property are ways of minding your own business. The idea is to create a separate stream of income that grows independently of employment. The history of taxes and corporations. Kiyosaki briefly explores how tax systems developed and how corporations benefit from legal structures. Employees earn, get taxed, and then spend. Corporations, on the other hand, can earn, spend on business expenses, and then pay taxes on what remains. Understanding this difference helps explain why business ownership can be financially powerful. The lesson is not about avoiding taxes, but about understanding how money flows through different structures. The rich invent money. This lesson focuses on opportunity, but it goes deeper than just spotting a good deal. Kiyosaki introduces the concept of financial intelligence as a creative act. He argues that money is not something you find. It's something you invent through your understanding of information, markets, and human behavior. Financially educated people see possibilities where others see only risk. Let's break that down. When the market crashes, the average person sees a loss and panics. They sell out of fear. But the financially literate person sees an opportunity to buy quality assets at a discount. Why? Because they understand cycles and timing. They know that fear drives prices down and greed drives them up. Kiyosaki also highlights the power of the question. The poor or middle-class mind says, "I can't afford that." Kiyosaki believes this statement shuts down the brain. It's a statement of resignation. Instead, the rich mind asks, "How can I afford that?" This question forces your brain to work. It forces you to think creatively, to research, to find solutions. It might lead you to find a partner, structure a deal differently, or discover an asset you didn't know existed. Creativity and confidence, supported by knowledge, allow financially intelligent people to act when opportunities appear. They understand that true wealth is created in moments of transition, when a new technology emerges, when a neighborhood is gentrifying, or when the stock market dips. They aren't just saving money. They are manufacturing it by turning ideas into assets. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Kiyosaki advises choosing jobs based on the skills they provide rather than the salary alone. This is a radical departure from what most of us are taught. We are conditioned to chase the highest starting salary or the most secure pension. But Kiyosaki argues that a paycheck is temporary, skills are forever. He emphasizes that there are specific skill sets that build long-term independence. Let's look at those key skills. Sales is perhaps the most important. Kiyosaki argues that if you cannot communicate or sell, you cannot succeed in business. If you have a great product but can't persuade anyone to buy it, you have nothing. Communication goes hand in hand with this. Learning to write well, speak publicly, and negotiate. Then there are the technical skills. Accounting allows you to read the story of a business and manage your books. Investing is the skill of putting your money to work so you don't have to. And management is the art of getting things done through other people, which allows you to leverage your time. Kiyosaki gives a personal example. He took a job at Xerox not because it paid well, but because they had the best sales training program in the world. He worked on commission, which was scary, but he knew the skill of overcoming rejection and closing a deal would make him rich later. By learning multiple skills, a person becomes adaptable and capable of creating income in different ways. The emphasis is on growth rather than short-term comfort. In a rapidly changing economy, your ability to learn a new skill is your best security. Overcoming obstacles. If financial intelligence was just about math, everyone would be rich, but it's not. The book identifies 5 key obstacles that separate the dreamers from the doers: fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. Let's tackle fear first. The single biggest reason people don't invest is the fear of losing money. Kiyosaki's response to this is simple. If you are afraid of losing, start small. Everyone loses. He lost money early on. The difference is that winners take that loss as a lesson. Losers take it as a reason to quit. He says, failure inspires winners. Failure defeats losers. Next is cynicism. We all have that friend who says, that won't work, or the market is due for a crash. Cynics are chickens who see the sky falling. While caution is healthy, cynicism paralyzes you. It keeps you from even trying. Then there is laziness. But Kiyosaki redefines laziness. He says busy people are often the laziest. They stay busy at work to avoid managing their personal finances. The cure for laziness is greed, or what he calls a little bit of desire. It's okay to want nicer things. Just let that desire push you to find a way to afford them legitimately through assets. Finally, bad habits and arrogance. A bad habit might be spending your whole paycheck before you pay yourself. Arrogance is when you combine ego with ignorance, thinking you know everything so you don't listen to advice. Wealth building requires emotional control as much as financial knowledge. You have to master yourself before you can master your money. Getting started. Kiyosaki ends with practical guidance, but he frames it as a spiritual journey as much as a financial one. He suggests a 3-part action plan. First, set a super goal and a stupid goal. This might sound odd, but Kiyosaki wants you to dream big. Visualize the financial freedom you want. Then, look at the opposite. What is the stupid goal? Where will you be if you do nothing? This contrast creates emotional tension that motivates you to act. Second, increase your financial literacy through small, consistent steps. You don't need to buy a shopping mall tomorrow. Start by tracking your expenses. For the next 30 days, write down every penny you spend. You will be shocked at where your money goes. Then, instead of spending that extra cash on liabilities, start looking at small investments. Study one stock. Read the prospectus of a real estate deal you can't afford just to learn the language. Financial literacy is a muscle. You have to exercise it. Third, surround yourself with people who think differently about money. If your friends only talk about sports or gossip, your conversations will stay at that level. Find mentors or peers who talk about assets, cash flow, and business opportunities. Kiyosaki says that the richest people build a team, accountants, lawyers, brokers, who can see opportunities they can't. Small steps, like tracking expenses or studying investments, build confidence over time. The journey toward financial independence begins with a decision to think differently and act consistently. It's not about getting rich quick, it's about getting rich sure.